Okay, if you're looking for information on how to set up the MTF-01 Lidar and optical flow sensor, like you see on this little Cinewoop of mine, I'm going to talk about it because when I was looking for information about it, I only found a few short videos, very good ones of drones using that sensor to hold position. But I was left with lots of questions that I'm going to hopefully answer for you in this video and show you some setup as well. So first of all, I'm going to talk about the setup of this drone. It's basically a 2.5-inch Cinewoop. The frame is an AxisFlying Cineon 25. The motors are Xing 1404. I forget what rating they are. I'll put it on screen though. There's a SpeedyBee 4 to 6S all-in-one flight controller running INAV. There's also a GPS unit on the back of it, and that includes a barometer and, actually I'm not sure if it's got a barometer, it's got a magnetometer in it as well. However, I don't really think I needed to get, I don't think it needs a GPS at all actually, for what I wanted to do with it. But it's also got the MTF-01 set inside there, and it's got an O3 air unit as well. So it's a nice drone, it's got some nice nice features. But the reason why I wanted this drone as well is I have a DJI O3 here, and I do some commercial work, and when I'm flying around in a factory with this, absolutely no problem. I don't have any problems with it at all. But when I get asked to do work in properties, in people's houses, this worries me. It's a big drone, and it creates a lot of downdraft. So as soon as I bought this, I really hoped that DJI would bring out a lighter version of it, sort of a Neo Mini or something like that. So when they brought out not the Neo Mini, the O3 Mini, something like that. But they brought out this instead, and this is a good little drone, this DJI Neo, but the camera isn't great. If you've used it, you'll know it's not great in low light. It's just nowhere near the quality of this one. So if we could make something in between, i.e. this, that would be good. Something that I feel confident flying around inside people's houses, getting really good quality video from an O3 or even maybe these days an O4 Pro. So that's the reason for it. And you might also have some questions as well. I had some questions because some of the videos that I've seen with people using this MTF-01 sensor, they'll show they're quite short videos, and they show you maybe some of the setup, but they just show the drone sitting there like this, hovering, which is great. But I was saying to myself, well, can you still fly it along, and can you go around corners and things like that? Can you still move it around? And the answer is yes, you can. But what I've found so far is that it's very reactive to altitudes, to anything underneath it. So for example, if you're flying along, let's say, you've got the floor here, let's say, and then you've got an object here like a sofa or whatever. You're going along like this, the sensor will suddenly pick up on the sofa and the drone goes whoom, up like that and over it and then down. A DJI drone won't do that. So this is going to need some tuning from me to try and work out if there's a way we can avoid it doing that. But in the meantime, what I'm going to show you is some setup in INAV as well. So we're plugged into INAV now, and I'm going to show you a few things first of all. Let's go to the ports, and you'll see that I'm using a DJI O3 on UART3. I'm also using the DJI controller, and I've got that connected to UART2 serial RX. I've then got I've got the GPS connected on UART5. As you can see, I've got it set up there. And UART6, I've got the optical flow. And as you can see, I've got all of those giving me a positive feedback up here to say they're all active. Next, if we go into configuration, you'll see that I've selected magnetometer with the correct model name there, the barometer as well, and the rangefinder and optical flow are set as MSP, which is what they needs to be selected as in there. Okay. Now, next I'm going to look at modes, and I've got a few modes set up. So, I never intend to fly this in full acro mode. I only ever intend to fly it in angle mode. If I want to do acro mode, I think I've got at the moment 10 or 12 FPV drones. That's not what this drone is about. So angle mode is going to be always on. So that's why you can see on channel 5 of my remote controller, I've got it active, whatever button position it is. And this is on the DJI remote controller, by the way. Channel 5 is a 3-position button. Channel 6 is also a 3-position button. So I've got an arming button on channel 6, and all the other features are activated on channel 5 in different button positions. So with the button centered, you can see that we've got angle mode, and then we've got nav alt hold. And then in the 3rd position, which is down like this, we've got angle mode, nav pos hold, nav alt hold, heading hold, and surface hold. Now, this is my second build of this type of drone. The first version of it, I killed it. Yeah, it was my first attempt. It was basically a 3D printed drone, and it worked. It flew, and what happened was, as soon as I put it into, well, I flew it, and I got it hovering. Then I switched it over into the next mode to try and do the position hold, and it just went straight up in the air, hit the ceiling, came down, smashed on the floor, and I just abandoned it. That was about 3 months ago, and since then I have built this one. So I don't like to just give up, I thought I'd try again. So as you've already seen the modes that we've got on here, what I'm doing this time is, instead of trying to take off in normal angle mode, then switch it over to the middle setting, nav alt hold, and then go over to the full position hold. What I'm doing is, I'm arming it. You see, you can't arm it in the 3rd button position, i.e. the surface mode. So what I'm doing is, I'm arming it in angle mode. Then once the props are spinning, I'm switching it then into surface mode, and then when I take off, it just sits and hovers and waits for me to give it some stick input. And then you can start flying it backwards, left, and moving it around like a normal DJI drone. So left stick forward will change your altitude up and down. Left and right on the left stick will give you some rotation on the yaw, okay? And then on your right stick, it gives you, well, it flies you backwards and forwards. It's not going to give you, big pitch like that because, we're only in angle mode. So it basically lets you fly sideways like this, drift sideways, or fly forwards and backwards like that. Okay. Now, I'm just going to show you also, this is a clever little thing that I've worked out how to do after watching a lot of videos. So in my... Okay, so welcome to my kitchen, and as you can see in the goggles OSD, in the sensor just below the warnings, it says angle there. We've got 3 different modes programmed onto this drone, and I'm going to show you, when I flick the switch to change the mode, it then goes to alt hold, and then in the 3rd position, it goes to surface mode. And I'm going to show you the way I've programmed that in INAV, because it's not a normal feature. So as I say, that's not a normal feature of INAV. The way you have to create this ability to switch between the different modes in there is by going to the programming tab first of all, and we need to program 3 operations. So as you can see, with programming you often start at 0. So think of 0 as being the first one. And then obviously 1, 2, and 3 is 3 different modes, right? So we've enabled 3 different operations here. We've got low, mid, and high. And for low, we're saying get the RC channel number 5, which is, if we go to modes, here we go. So as you can see, we're telling it to listen to channel 5 and find out what position the button's in. So let's go back to programming here. So we're saying get the RC channel 5. And when to be active is always, all right? And then for the second one, we're saying the mid position, again on channel 5. And for the third one, we're saying get the high position, all right? And as you can see, when I change my button on here, that status is changing on the right. Then we need to give some feedback in the actual OSD. And the way you do that is like this. What you need to do is go down to custom elements and switch on custom element 1, 2, and 3 like that. And then we're nearly there. what we need to do is go here. Okay, so you can see the custom OSD elements. What we're saying is, for the first section, we want some text, and you can put whatever you want in there. I'm just going to drag these and make them so they're not overlapping each other. So what we're saying is there, for custom element 1, we're going to say angle, and we're going to get the logic condition from logic condition 2. Same for this, for custom element 2, we're going to say alt hold, which is what you can see there, and we're getting the logic condition 1. And for that one, we're going to say, for custom element 3, we're getting using the text surface, and we're getting the logic from logic condition 0. So what we're doing is we're programming those 3. Just to recap, we are getting 3 button positions like that, and then we are displaying them and customizing them. Let's go back into here. Sorry, there's too many tabs, it gets confusing for me. So yeah, we're saying we're programming 3 button positions, and they're saying display them like this with the custom feedback. And that way I can easily see which mode I'm in. So I'm just going to reset this because I don't want to save that information. Okay, so I'm going to have a little fly in here. I'm just going to launch it and let it hover really. And I'll move it around a little bit as well. So first of all, I'm going to put it in the angle mode, in the basic angle mode, and arm it. Once it's armed, I'm then going to switch it through to surface mode, and then I'm going to take off. And there you go.